Welcome back to Battle Cage. My name is Saif and I'm coming to you with the UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Steve Erceg full recap and betting recap. Before we start, let's look at my UFC Topology profile page. My Battle Cage profile here on Topology. I did go up again in percentage, which is great because I dropped the ball last week. I don't know what the hell happened to me, but in any way, I'm at 66.7%, and they would have been much more had I did something stupid. So in my review, I went with you guys entirely, and I picked every single fight with you guys on Topology. I forgot to click save. Why? I don't know. So I only saved 6 out of 7 fights, and this was not even the full picture because one of them was a mistake that I fixed it with you guys. So I picked Ateba, right? That was easy. Now I switched this pick. If you guys go watch my pick video for this fight, I switched it. My initial pick was Lazy Boy, Ronaldo Rodriguez. In my video, guys, I switched that pick. So I'm on record. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not trying to make excuses. For some reason, I forgot to click save. That's why it's a blemish on this record. This was not supposed to be like that. I was supposed to sweep this card. But El Gallo Negro, Kevin Borjas, was my flip around pick. And I told you guys why. The lines were a little bit skewed. On best fighting odds, Ronaldo ballooned to minus 180. But on the DraftKings website itself, it still said minus 142. There was a little bit of discrepancy that kind of gave me a little bit of a funny feeling. It forced me to rewatch Kevin Borjas and Ronaldo Rodriguez, and I told myself, listen, I think the better fighter is going to be Kevin Borjas because I am not sold on Ronaldo Rodriguez, who was in a very, very close fight with Ode Osborne, who almost put him away, right? And then on the other side, I had Kevin Borjas, who I thought had the better hands. And as long as he kept this fight standing, he was going to absolutely piece up Ronaldo. And that's exactly what happened. But we'll get into that. So that's a little blemish, right? That's a little blemish. I picked David Martinez. I was sold on him. I liked what I saw. And he's actually a real doctor, a real physician doing it. So you got someone with a skill set, a savage mentality, and who has brains and an IQ. That's a dangerous combination. I like what I saw over here. I picked Rosas. I was very, very confident on Rosas, but the fight didn't play out the way I thought. So we'll get into that as well. El Cholo, I call him El Cholo, Puro Chicol, Edgar Chavez, man. He gets the job done, completely violates CJ Vergara. CJ Vergara is probably on his way back into another organization because, well, he got violated. Manuel Torres, the entire time I was on Manuel Torres, and I kid you not, I have receipts here. I have absolute receipts the whole time. My brother going crazy, going absolutely nuts. He's going like, oh, are you sold on Manuel Torres? Why is he in every single parlay? What's going on? What's going on? No. Oh my God. Are you really? Oh my God. Yes, Manuel Torres was supposed to win. I faded Drew Dober. He was on the fading side. That's why I thought the much younger, more hungrier fighter is going to bounce back in his prime. Coming off a loss to Ignacio Bajan Mendes, it didn't sit well with him. He was going to get the job done. TKO, round 1, gets it done. And then Brandon Moreno, we also got a check mark right here. But let's go over the entire card, though, because I killed the entire picks. I picked Markel Medeiros. He won the fight, but it was very, very close. Jamal Emmers, I picked the fight, and I thought he was going to finish this fight. He did. Rafa Garcia, I definitely saw this going to a decision. I even picked, I believe, the decision. Lupi Godinez versus Julia Palestra. Very close fight, in my opinion, especially toward the end. The first 2 rounds, Lupi Godinez absolutely dominated and violated Julia Palestra. In the 3rd round, Julia stuffed all the takedowns and basically said, I'm just gonna go forward. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I haven't fact-checked it. But I did watch one of the recap videos. Shout out to We Want Picks. Uncle Ange is on top of this game with his reviews. If you want the most instant reaction, you go to Uncle Edge. You know what I'm saying? If you want the most charismatic recap, you're going to go to MMA Guru. If you want the most financially recapped video and maybe technical review, you're going to come to me. And that's just what it is. It is what it is. Everybody got their strength and weakness. So according to him, Lupi Godinez had to take a shit after the second round. And perhaps she couldn't wrestle anymore because, well, when you're grabbing, you're putting a lot of pressure in your stomach. So she just stood there. And she definitely looked off in the third round because Julia Palestra put a beating on Lupi Godinez. Had this happened in the second round, Lupi would have lost. But another thing is, Julia Palestra was the lock of the week for Jacob, also from We Won Picks. And that scared me. I was initially on Julia Palestra. That kind of swayed me away from Julia Palestra. And I went the other way. And I said, you know what? The money that's moving Lupi Godinez from like minus 178 to minus 248 to even higher numbers. In fact, I am going to pull up the website right now, starting off at minus 175, ballooned to a whopping minus 238. And that line told me that there is a massive sharp action coming in on Lupi Godinez. And although Julia Palestra was my initial pick and an underdog actually, after Jacob picked her and the line moved, I said I cannot trust Julia at this spot. I picked with Lupi Godinez. She came forward in the first two rounds, dominated, dropped the ball in the third round, and that's what happened. In any case, that is. Mexiel Costa was an underdog for some handicappers out there. He goes out there, gets the job done, and again, repetitive story. He started very good the first and second round. Christian Rodriguez tried to take him down. Didn't do much with the takedowns. Didn't have a lot of action. However, in the third round, it was sketchy. It was sketchy. So the total numbers, as you can see, the right man won. Although on the numbers, it was close. And that's because look at this, 6 takedowns. Now, not much damage happened in the first 2 rounds, so we have to score round by round. We're going to have to give it to Mexiel Costa. He definitely won the fight. I am not arguing that fact. We could look round by round. So here's round number 1. Total strikes 63 to 12. The significant strikes 22 to 11. So you got to score it for Melky here. Round 2, 71 total strikes to 24. Significant strikes 26 to 19. You got to score it for Melky here. Round 3, that had 4 takedowns for C-Rod. He was much more dominant. 41 to 25. Significant strikes 34 to 17. So, yes, the third round, once again, had a little bit too late for Christian Rodriguez, but that's when my night started. Because true story, the reason I kind of went fast, and I want to be very, very honest with you guys, I actually took a nap. I went and I did really good cardio, around 600 calories, around 2 p.m. I was also fasting that day, yesterday. And I went afterwards, I took a nap. I straight up came home around, I started a little bit before 2, so I finished around 2, probably 2:30, 2:40. I fell asleep, not gonna lie. So the first 4 fights I actually missed. I did not watch Markel Medeiros. I did not watch Jamal. I rewatched it later, but initially live, I did not watch this. I did not watch Rafa and Lupi Godinez. When I woke up, the fight just ended, and I texted my brother who won this fight because the numbers were very, very close. This fight, Mexiel Costa and Christian Rodriguez, was my first fight. So this is where my kind of review starts. So that's why I'm being a little bit technical here. Now, boom, this is also my first bet. As soon as I open my eyes, Mexiel Costa plus 114. I grab him, 3-unit play, doubled it. Start the night well. He was always my dog. After I switched over, I had 2 dogs going in. I had Mexiel Costa, and I said in my review that Christian Rodriguez is good. He just seems to be struggling against the taller guys. The second, my favorite dog of the night was Kevin Borjas, especially when he came in at the weigh-ins and the ceremonial, and he went like this, and he had his flag in the air, and he was like, yo, I'm going to shut everybody up. I absolutely knew that that was the dog to go with. I texted my brother. He told me he's going to get violated, blah, 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 bugu gaga. Yeah, we will find out. So Mexico Costa started my betting recap here. So that's that, right? So the first 4 fights, I really didn't watch it. I kind of like bullshitted through. And speaking of Jamal Emmers, like, he was just a first round knockout. It was just a dominant performance for Jamal Emmers. 2 takedowns for Gabriel Miranda, which I was high on. I had over 0.5 takedowns for Miranda, so that kind of hit. And I had under 3.5 takedowns for Rafa. Those 2 fights were just, Jamal Emmers just outpowered Gabriel Miranda, and Rafa Garcia went in a very close fight against Vince Pichel. It was a unanimous decision win. It could have been argued a split decision because the first 2 rounds were very, very close, guys. Very close. And Vince Pichel only kind of slowed down in the 3rd round, and the younger, fresher guy, Rafa Garcia, did it. So back to Mexico Costa. We cashed on Mexico Costa, and we move forward. Ateba Gutier versus Jose Daniel Medina. I did say that this guy is a savage. He looks like a savage. He fights like a savage. I am pretty much very sold on Ateba Gutier. He came out there. He looked extremely dominant. His jab is so freaking fast. He has incredible reach for this weight class. This is baby Francis Ngannou, and let's see what he has. His definite biggest opportunity is to continue growing in the wrestling and the takedown department, but he's a savage. The way he knocked out Jose Medina with that knee right up the middle, crazy work. So there's really nothing much. This everybody was on Ateba Gutier. He closed at minus 500. He was in my parlay. It's just there's nothing much to really say. Power, speed. He came out. He showed out. Boom. We covered that. Now we move to my biggest play for the night: Kevin Borjas versus Ronaldo Rodriguez, and I'm gonna go right here. You're gonna see this is a pre-fight bet, $242, plus 170. Now, you think this would be okay. Look at Kevin Borjas. I put 2.5 units on top of that, plus 100. True story. This plus 100, at the time of me clicking the button, was plus 250. Imagine if I would have caught that. But the minute I put that in, guess what happened? That first knockdown happened because he came up to like minus 250, plus 250, and he knocked down Ronaldo, and it dropped to plus 130 right away. I stood by my guy, and I picked plus 100 on top. And just when you thought it was over, once he dipped to plus 100, he started going up again. And I knew there's going to be path of resistance because people are still believing in Ronaldo. Yes, he got knocked down. He's going to get up. Fine, he granted chin. He stood the test of time. However, I went once again 1.5 units on top on Kevin Borjas. I was pretty much all in on Kevin Borjas. So 1.5 units, 2.5 units, 2.2. So you got 4.9 plus like almost 6 units in. 6 units right on one player. All plus money plays. This is all plus money plays. There was a moment he was minus 115. I wanted to put another 3 units. I said, you know what? It is what it is. Let's ride it. So biggest play of the night on Kevin Borjas. I knew he was going to get the job done. We could go round by round. Round 1, 18-10. He gets, I think that was a 1 knockdown here. So he got 1 knockdown. Ronaldo got 1 takedown. Didn't do very much with it. Second round, also winning 23-17. It got another knockdown in the second round. And the third round, oh man, did he get a knockdown in every single round? Oh my goodness. And he got a knockdown in the third round. Let me make sure this is right because that's crazy. I don't know if this is right or not. According to UFC, it's right. But ESPN has one knockdown. I knew he had more than one knockdown. So I'm going to go with UFC because definitely he got knocked down almost in every single round. He kept dropping Ronaldo Rodriguez, and he gets the job done. I was very, very happy. That put me really on top of the slate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a good stand-up game. He controlled the fight. He had excellent reaction counters to Ronaldo Rodriguez. He got the job done. It is what it is. If you guys want to watch the fight, you go watch the fight. Moving forward, David Martinez minus 700. You could not have any action on him. So he was just a play as a parlay. I did say that. I didn't know he's going to start Samian Oliveira that fast. So in hindsight 2020, maybe that could have been the play. But now that we know, and we potentially, do our homework for the next time. So I'm a little over 15 minutes, but I'm going to try to end this, guys, very, very soon because, well, time is money. Moving forward, this is a fight that I really do want to talk about. I was high on Raul Rosas, but he is showing a lot of holes in his game. He's still kind of stupid because he's giving up his head. And what happened was, you can't blame me, actually. I actually jumped the gun, plus 500 Vince Morales, 2.28 units. And yes, I lost. But you cannot tell me there were moments where he could have submitted. 2 times he had Raul Rosas' neck. 2 times in a darce. In like the middle of the fight, right? Second or third round. Let me see this. Let me pull this up. First round, 2 submission attempts in the very first round. So when this fight started, and after Raul Rosas gets him down, he gets Vince Morales down, there's a reversal, and look, 2 submission attempts. 2 submissions. I love this. So yes, it was a crazy gamble. Yes, Raul Rosas weathered the storm, but he is showing me a lot of gaps in his toolbox. A lot. And so if you look at the striking, it was basically, Vince Morales. Vince Morales was kind of doing much more action. He had more significant strikes. It was pretty much the dominant controls for Raul Rosas. And I don't know, unanimous decision is kind of funny to me. And the reason is you had 2 submission attempts for Vince Morales, one in the middle of the fight and one close to the end where he was in a predicament. You know what I'm saying? He had the thumbs up, but he was in a predicament. So, yes, I lost the 2.28 units, but there was a world where Vince Morales could actually have submitted Raul Rosas. So I'm not very happy with Raul Rosas. He's definitely showing us still, 20 years old. He has a lot to learn. And if he's fighting a good wrestler, he's in trouble. A good wrestler is going to give him problems. And that's what happened with Christian Rodriguez, who's not even like a good wrestler. He's just decent. So the minute he fights someone with man strength, decent wrestling, who's going to negate that, he's a suspect on the feed, guys. I don't know why. Again, maybe he's still growing. Bantamweight is probably taking a big toll on his frame because he's a big guy, right? How tall is Raul Rosas? He's not small. He is not. He is relatively... He's 5'9". He's decent. He can actually move up to featherweight, which probably is going to be the end game for him anyway. He's going to look to move up because bantamweight, he's a suspect. I will be honest, very, very honest with you guys. He is a suspect. Overall, he's a suspect. 9 minutes of control time, yes. 4 out of 8 takedowns, yes. That's all he really has. But he gives up the neck. You know what I'm saying? He puts himself in crazy predicaments. And Vince Morales is not even known for the submission game. So if it was a much more technical, submission artist, he probably would have submitted Raul Rosas. And that's why I had to take the leap and I had to put 228, small little thing. So that's what happened with this fight. Let's move forward. All right, up next, really nothing much to say. Edgar Chairez was my pick. I thought CJ Vergara is basically at the end of his career in the UFC. He's going to go down. He has a lot of heart, respect. But Edgar Chairez drops him, right? Drops him, stuns him. as soon as he didn't drop him, he stunned him. So as soon as he stunned him, and the fight was very, very quick. So once he stunned him, he basically went right behind CJ Vergara, forced a submission, got him back, got his back, and basically violated him. That's pretty much what happened. I wanted to find a picture of how he submitted him. Let me see if I can. Right here. Perfect. So here's the picture, guys. That's it. It wasn't even fully in. It was more like a neck crank, right? But he sunk it in way back. He's pushing on the back of CJ's Vergara hand, and he just couldn't take it anymore because he would have been in pain. He would have been in massive, massive pain. So I'm not mad on CJ for tapping out, but it is what it is. Edgar was not a straight play. He was minus 270, so that was scary to play straight. But he was definitely a parlay piece, and he was. So that's pretty much what happened. Moving forward, we had the co-main event all over Taurus. Hindsight 2020. I should have played a direct play minus 112 on Taurus, and I wanted to. I really wanted to until it was literally the two men were in the octagon during introductions, and Manuel Torres all of a sudden, minus 112 jumped to minus 160. And I said to myself, well, I have two parlays with Manuel Torres. Why would I even want to overexpose myself at this point? Let it ride. And I had a 3-legger and I had a 5-legger. And I also still have a 7-legger in play, which I will touch in a minute. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Minus 112 is no longer available. Minus 160, let it ride. And fine. The fight didn't even last that long. 1 minute, 45 seconds. Knockout. Get him out of here. Call it an early stoppage? Absolutely not. He was battering Drew Dober with 14 unanswered strikes. 14 unanswered. It was a clean right hand that connected on Drew Dober. He dropped Drew Dober. Once he dropped Drew Dober, he was on top of him. Just going down. Hammer fits because Drew Dober was just holding his leg, Manuel Torres' leg, and Manuel just bam, 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 bam. So they had to stop it. How many fists do you want to connect for? And if you look at after he gets up, he's still thinking that he definitely was out. He definitely got concussed. So good stoppage by the ref. He didn't allow Drew Dober to sustain more damage than necessary. He's 6? Drew Dober is 36. He's definitely, he's 36. He's at the end of his line. He should definitely consider hanging it up. He is now coming off 3 losses. He only won 1 out of 5. He got knocked out by Matt Frivola. That was pretty much the beginning of the end for him. Moicano put a beating on Drew Dober. It was a war, but he put a beating on him. Jean Silver had a TKO where he opened up that gash, but still connected a lot of power volumes, and he just got really TKO'd by Manuel Torres. So great scrap overall. I knew Manuel Torres was probably the max unit play, and I told my brother, I have receipts. I can show you guys text message. He was a max unit play. He was a 5 to 8 unit play solo. And I wanted to do it. By the time it got there, it was a little too late. I'm more of a live player. I like to go with the energy. He came out with good energy. When I looked at it, it was over. So I said, you know what, fine. I have in parlays. Let me stick it out. And it's actually a good time to go over the parlays that I cashed out because, once Manuel Torres won, there was no need for me to stick around anymore. So I took the money because I was a little scared. So here's a cash out number 1. Again, pussy, but it is what it is. Raul Rosas, Joe Pyfer was a wash because that fight got canceled, by the way. Manuel Torres hit. Brandon Moreno was the last leg, and I should have wrote it out. Plus 5.9. We can calculate that. $50. $50 times 5.99. The potential payout, that dropped, by the way. Those lines dropped because of Joe Pyfer. I forgot. The lines got adjusted. So, yeah, I cashed out, as you can see, paid 350. So 350 minus oh, what the hell happened? They logged me out. Give me a second. They keep doing that to me. And by the way, that's just receipts. That's what I do. They're gonna check my location. I don't have the plugin because they're garbage. It's not working for me. I don't know why. It is what it is. So settled. Let's go back to the that parlay. Where's my parlay? Where's my parlay? Where's my parlay? Okay, yeah. So that was that parlay. So 349 minus 50, 3-unit profit, 299. So it is what it is. I had to take that just as insurance policy because I was like, yo, I got to take my winnings, right? And then I had this parlay going, which this was given to you guys. I gave you guys. So Raul Rosas, Manuel Torres, Brandon Moreno, plus 225. That would have been a good hit, right? 175 times 2.24 would have been 392 profit. I cashed out before the end of Moreno, 376.62 minus 175. Pussy it out a little bit. $200 profit. Still, you know what I'm saying? I wanted at least some. So 2-unit profit there. So I definitely cashed out on Manuel Torres as soon as Manuel Torres because, even though Brandon Moreno won, it was kind of a sloppy fight for Brandon Moreno. Is not really dominating. Yeah, he kind of controlled most of the rounds, and he did. I think 5-2 rounds you could score that. I'm sorry, 3-2 rounds. Best round for Steve Erceg was definitely the second round. But yeah, overall, it was just, I didn't know. I didn't know what could happen because Steve Erceg is a gamer and he did show up. He showed up, he boxed. It was a boxing fight. No wrestling, no nothing. It was just a straight striking boxing, a little bit leg kicking fight. In fact, we can pull up the last fight over here. So here comes the main event. Overall, total strikes thrown was 119-95. So the volume was on Steve Erceg. The head strikes 90-59, which is crazy, right? In retrospect, leg kicks. So he kind of out-volumed Brandon Moreno, and I saw that. But it was the theatrics. It was the whole spectacle of Brandon Moreno because he was throwing some whoopy-loopy punches. He got a little bit, he opened up a little bit of Steve Erceg, and that's really did it. You look at the paper, though. You look at the paper right now. I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, sheesh. Steve Erceg he was in the fight, and he was in the fight. That's the thing. He was in the fight. It was just some things got out of hand, like one takedown from Brandon Moreno. That was a good way to finish the fight, the round. And the fight, I believe, that was at the end of the round. So, Steve Erceg had a chance. That is what I'm trying to say. And I that's why I cashed out on Brandon Moreno. Yeah, I pussied out. It is what it is. Call me anything you want. But I don't care. I got my money. I pussied out a little bit. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I did put 2 units on Steve Erceg. I did. Well, and if you look at the numbers again, right? You look at the numbers. This is why I did it. Because the numbers were there. And there was a moment where Steve Erceg was plus 114. I caught him at plus 250. I caught the man at plus 250. So when the fight went down to plus 114, now they didn't give me a cash out. I would definitely taken a cash out. But I thought I'm on the right side. You know what I'm saying? So again, it was very similar to Vince Morales' play, more of an emotional type of stab. But you never know with these fights, right? So I'd rather take a little bit of chance than not. So I'm okay. I lost the 4 units, still ended up with 12 net units. I still have a play in there. In terms of the final fight, do I have anything else to say? Not really. Not really. The end of, pretty straightforward. Stand-up affair. The numbers don't lie, actually. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know the numbers were that wide. Because when I was watching it live, the numbers were relatively close. So this is in retrospect. So there's gonna cause some conversation here. But still, the damaging shots, the theatrics, what made the audience go ooh, ah, it was definitely coming from Brandon Moreno. Now, I am probably up more units, but I haven't cashed yet. I have a monster 9-leg parlay still in play. And that's why I had to cash out, because I was playing a longer game. Because I told myself, if I lose, let me take my 2 units, my 3 units, right? I get 5 units in return. Sure, I probably left on the table 2 to 3 units. But I had a monster 9-leg parlay that is still in play, that I connected it with the next card. So, as you can see, Lupi Godinez, Edgar Chairez, Kevin Borjas, Raul Rosas, Joe Pfeiffer, that was a wash because the fight got canceled. Manuel Torres, Brandon Moreno, and I have Kennedy Nzechukwu and Lerone Murphy. Those guys are minus 285 versus Martin Buday, which I think should happen. You know what I'm saying? Martin Buday is nothing special. He's just a blob. So Kennedy Nzechukwu, the African Savage, should come out there and pretty much control and violate Martin Buday. I just scared for a world where Martin Buday just lays on him, but it is what it is. I'm going to take my chance. But that's still in play, guys. I could cash this out right now and get 9 units plus. So I'm at 12 units net. But if I take this out right now, if I say, you know what, forget the 1,000, right? Let me forget the 1,000. Let me take this out right now. I'm guaranteed 9 units. I'm now 21 units for the night. So this is still in play. I haven't made a decision. Maybe you guys can comment down below and let me know, should I cash out? Now, if that's not enough, I got another play. I'm still in here, guys. This is insane because I kind of combined the entire April in here. So Jamal Emmers, Rafa Garcia, which shows you proof that I picked Jamal Emmers and I picked Rafa Garcia. Kevin Borjas again, Raul Rosas, Joe Pfeiffer didn't happen, Manuel Torres. I am picking Diego Lopez. This is advanced pick, guys, to become the new champion. He is bigger. He is faster. He's much more prime than Volkanovski. Volkanovski is coming off a knockout loss. Diego has knockout power. I think he wins the fight. Paddy Pimblett, he should definitely win the fight. The ball is in his corner. Michael Chandler is just a shell of himself. Incredible physique, but just, I don't know. Jean Silva should crucify Bryce Mitchell and Lerone Murphy and Pat Sabatini and Kennedy Nzechukwu. So there is a world where I say, you know what? I can leave $1,000 on the table because I can always get those $1,000 back. I could take this $1,000 right now. I'm going to sit on it because yesterday it was $900. I'm going to wait for the African Savage to become a much more favorite. If they give me this around $1,200 cash out, I will take it. I will leave $800 on the table. I will take this, and then I will ride the monster 12-leg parlay to win $4,600. And I'll be absolutely okay with it because I would have gave up, 10 units to win so much, right? Versus nothing. So that's where I'm sitting at. This is my full reaction to the fight. I think overall the card was good. The fighters brought it. It was much better than the UFC London card. Shout out to Mexico. They fought with heart. A lot of emotions. Edgar was crying. Brandon was crying. Everybody was, it is what it is. Alupi came through. Some good finishes. 4 finishes. Got four bonuses. Overall, I think this is a solid 8 card. London was nasty from the entertainment point of view, but we made money on it, so I don't give a shit. But from the entertainment, that was like a 4 on a good day. And it is what it is. If you guys like what I do, you like my transparency, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And you got to talk to me. You got to engage with me because there might come a time where I'm really going to start selling my picks, guys. I'll start being stingy, and you don't want to be on my bad side. So support your boy. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see you when I see you. Take it easy. Have a blessed one.